Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Tuesday, November 28th, and we are looking at the TTC dashboard. Total crypto market cap is up. Bitcoin is up, ETH is up. Everything's looking pretty good, to be honest with you. Good afternoon and good morning and good evening to you, Ras Nijis. I hope I didn't botch that, but appreciate you in the chat very early checking in. Let's just go ahead and move into the charts. Actually, before I even move into the charts, there's one thing that happened this morning that I think is probably worth mentioning as kind of a macro overhang, a good macro overhang, I should say. So the Fed Governor Chris Waller erases any doubt about this in remarks Tuesday, indicating the Fed will extend its rate hike pause into early 2024. Now, of course, that's just an indication from one Fed governor, but it does seem to be consensus from what we've been hearing, especially if the PCE print, which is supposed to be this Thursday, comes in as expected. It's supposed to drop to 3.5. I believe PCE is expected to drop to, this number is blank, but it's going to be 3.1 is the expected, which is obviously lower than 3.4. So very much headed in the right direction. So very good news here. And if we just kind of peek over at equities, had a nice little boost. Obviously, Bitcoin in the middle of a nice little boost as well. So let's discuss everything going on the chart. So we're looking at DXY at the moment, and DXY has just been pretty much straight down since really actually the 1st of November. So the entire month of November been straight down. Next support level is 102.4, and then of course below that is right around this 101 level. So the lower this goes, and the continuous drop is mainly good for equities, but also is going to be good for crypto as well. So the one thing I will say is watch out for some sort of bounce right here, but it is also important to remember that we have PCE on Thursday, so maybe it kind of flattens out into Thursday, but Thursday could be the day where we get another drop down there. So something to watch out for, but we'll obviously discuss that throughout the week. So looking at equities, and I'm just going to go ahead and remove these lines because they'll be a little bit distracting, but basically, we said if we can get above this kind of liquidity right here, then we should, be on the road to, up to 4,600. Now, obviously, getting sold off, pardon me, right around, this liquidity here, which isn't to be unexpected. It's very rare that we just kind of bust through things on a bridge, but this is, very positive. But, the one thing I would be worried about is if we dropped all the way back here, would be kind of a rejection at this level, and then we'd be depending on this level to hold again. So basically, we're kind of stuck in a range right now for equities, and we need to get above this hump to then bust up to 4,600. And of course, again, Thursday could be kind of a critical day for that, especially if we do end up just kind of ranging around here until Thursday. I would expect, good PCE print to push us higher. And, of course, we're not, there's no reason to be bearish here or add shorts. In my opinion, we're still above the daily close. But we definitely want to see something like this. And if we get another rejection, would probably send us here. And then we would really hope that PCE would kind of rock us up here as we head into Thursday. So moral of the story is equities do look bullish, but obviously rejection, little worrisome. Want to see that push higher, and at the worst case scenario, want to see that level hold. So looking at Bitcoin, so right here we have circled the Monday high, we have the Monday low circled. We really didn't sweep the Monday low at all, and of course, typically, when you run back to the Monday high, you expect some sort of sweep as well, but no sweep occurred. This hourly candle busted right above the previous week's high. So this is not the previous week's high. This is the Monday high of last week. So busted above that, tapped that as a support level, and then we busted back above the resistance level back from November 9th. and November 15th. So all positive in the Bitcoin book. But the big contender is obviously this high that we had last Friday when we got rejected back down, which obviously sent us back to 36.7. So everything right here is looking good, but the moral of the story moving forward is we need to get above this level. And if we see, something like this again, then it's basically a repeat of what we saw here. And it could end up sending us back down to, we have been forming higher lows. So that's obviously positive. So I don't want to say it would send us back down here, but it could send us back down to maybe 37.5, maybe 37.3, maybe 37 flat. And obviously any one of these would form another higher low, which is exactly what we want to see from a market structure perspective. And of course, this is a higher high. So right now, market structure looks good, but at the end of the day, we do not want to form a lower high here, as that could potentially be seen as a break in the current market structure. Well, it wouldn't be a break in the current market structure, but it would definitely be a feather in the cap of possible bearish market structure forming. But right now, things do look good. But we can still kind of bounce back to this 38K level and still end up moving higher without really forming any sort of lower high. But obviously, I think we'd all like to see a continuous grind higher with a bust above 38.5, and then we can start talking about 39.6, maybe even that 40K flat number all the way above. So basically, moral of the story for Bitcoin, things do look good right now. If we can't get above this level, I'd look for 37.5, 37.2, or 37 as pullback areas. And then that could be the shoot up to 39.6. Looking at ETH, obviously lagging Bitcoin, but having a fantastic day today. So the one thing you need to look out for is obviously Monday high sitting right here, Monday low sitting right here. So Bitcoin obviously busted above that Monday high, well above that Monday high right now. But ETH, which has been lagging Bitcoin, is still stuck underneath the Monday high. So what we want to see from a bullish perspective is getting above that Monday high, flipping it as supports, and then moving back up towards the 21.30 level. And if we look back at market structure, we are forming lower highs. We are forming higher lows. I'm sorry, just a lot to think about here. So higher lows, and we have equal highs. So that's not bearish. Or some could perceive that as some sort of double top, but then we formed a higher low right here. So it does not look like double top is going to fully play out, which is a good sign. And obviously right now, as you can see, we are kind of pressing up above that Monday high, which is exactly what we want to see. We want to see it press above. Preferably I'd like to see it just shoot up, but typically you'll kind of see it grab some liquidity and then pop back down, flip it to support, and then move higher. So if ETH can get above the Monday high, looks like a good long. If we end up sweeping the Monday high and closing back below the Monday high, then possibly a good short down here to mid-range, which is, kind of right around here, which is like 2040 to 2030 would be that mid-range level for for more longs and a pullback, more spot buys and a pullback. And then obviously if we break below that, then I'd probably expect us to come back down to the Monday low, which, hopefully then we would sweep, form kind of a double bottom and move higher. So, but without confusing it, too much, the moral of the story for ETH is, above the Monday high, you can attack these equal highs, and then above those equal highs, you can obviously get up to 2160. A rejection or a sweep of the Monday high will send you back down to 2040 to 2030. And then breaking below that would send you back down to levels of the Monday low, which is right around 1985. So obviously looking at ETH BTC as well, it's been pretty weak. That prediction from way back did not come true. We obviously busted below that trend line, but still talking about market structure here, we are forming higher lows. So obviously we've got some lower highs to contend with as well, which makes this very tricky. But if we can, do something like this, that would obviously be the best case scenario. And then, if we kind of broke, there is kind of like a trend here, right here. And then if we broke below this trend, it would probably send us back down to these equal lows that are sitting right here. So what I'm seeing right now is that Bitcoin definitely stronger than ETH, but ETH is in a position where it could start to gain some steam against Bitcoin, especially if Bitcoin, crabs up to kind of 39.6, whereas ETH definitely has the opportunity, and looking at this 12-hour chart is actually, in my opinion, good. So let's remove some of these lines because it's going to actually paint a pretty good picture for ETH, in my opinion. I shared this with the TTC community earlier in the day. Said, this is pretty effing bullish in my opinion. Got these lows right here, held here, got some beautiful wicking action here, and then big nice beautiful candle right here. So we need to get above this level, and we can easily start attacking these highs right here. And if we can get above 21.25, then we can easily start talking about 21.60. So ETH does look pretty good in my opinion, but the one thing you got to watch out for is this Monday high sweep, which is my biggest worry right now. But I am currently long ETH and a few other coins. Currently long ETH, SNX, and FET right now. FET being the AI play, and SNX has just had a lot of whale wallet buying. So pull up SNX for you and kind of talk about that. But I mean, let's look, back at the ETH chart. We really like that formation. We're moving higher, and then if we go back to the SNX charts right here, not the exact same formation, but very similar, right? We get higher lows, right? Some beautiful wicking action here. And what I would expect is, something like this, maybe a little bit more choppy, but that does look pretty positive in my opinion. And we saw a lot of whale buying over the weekend on this dip. So I think it looks good in my opinion. So with that being said, that is the daily crypto update. If you'd like, more analysis, more up to date, kind of automatic stuff where, you're getting daily updates, daily trade calls, talking through, active and live price action, then definitely sign up for tradethechain.com, www.tradethechain.com. And there is a 14-day free trial for you, which you can join the community and on the 14-day free trial and get access to everything going on. Check it out. And it is a true trial. So Live to Ride said Track is the best AI play. Track is a very long standing coin. I believe it actually, it had a very, very good November. Look at that. That's pretty kooky. So actually, wow, that is pretty insane. I actually think I found a bag of Track like way back in the summer after this pump, and I sold it. And now I'm just thinking like, wow, that bag would be extremely fat. So good call and Live to Ride. Now after this big of a pump with such a weird coin, especially when we look back at the chart, after such a large pump, it typically has kind of just pooped out. But obviously we do seem to be in a bit of a new paradigm for AI plays. So I don't really love Track right now, but I will say, from the 4-hour definitely looks a lot better. These wicks always scare me. But you can see this weekly VWAP right here. So if you can close above the weekly VWAP, which obviously it really hasn't done, then it can definitely move higher. And if you can get above this level right here, which is 2.97, you can probably start attacking those highs up here. That's the wrong track. Oh, good call. Okay, so wrong track. They stole our ticker. It is the origin trail. So let's Coinbase chart. Okay. Good point. So then I didn't sell at a bad time. Maybe I don't remember if it was spring or summer, but okay. So let's kind of restart that analysis because I don't know what coin I just analyzed. I just thought it was, I didn't realize someone else stole the ticker. That is actually odd because Track has been around for quite some time, but yes. Okay. This chart definitely looks a lot better, especially if you can get a close above here on the 12-hour, and let's see about the 4-hour. Yeah, that's not very attractive, but the 4 hours still has, several or 3 hours to close. So plenty of time left before making, a call of it heading lower. But so basically, if you can close above this level right here, then you should be able to, maybe do a little bull flag action and then continue to head higher. Got higher lows, got higher highs. So yeah, this is a good chart, but these kind of wicks always scare me, because if you look, back in historically, it'll then end up kind of doing something like this, because you're basically just going to be in one giant channel here, and typically it'll kind of ride the channel. So I don't entirely love track right now, and this is why I liked FET, because this is much more clean chart, right? So higher lows, you got this higher high up here. We've kind of been bull flagging a little bit, so kind of hoping for this on the breakout. If it does get back below the weekly VWAP, I'll probably cut it and then look to probably re-enter down here, but kind of trying to play this breakout. I like the candles right now. Had some good volume, not a whole lot of sell volume either, so decent chart. But someone asked Jason Speed, the PYR chart. Let's go ahead and check that one out as well. Let's hope there's only one PYR. All righty. So the question was on the 1 hour, in at 6, looking for 7 point. Yeah, so 6, not a bad entry, because that is previous daily close. Anytime we get above the previous daily close, usually good things happen. So if we obviously pull back, I would look, at 6 as the kind of springboard for higher. You've got continuous, higher or equal lows going down here. You got the obviously, the higher highs here, and then we've got this one lower high. That's not entirely concerning when everything was kind of, just iffy, but the fact that we're still kind of sitting in this larger range and these levels are holding is definitely very positive. So let's kind of zoom down to the 1 hour, because the 4 hour is not very descriptive. Okay, so yeah, so this is good. So what you want is, it needs to get above this 1 hour estimated 200 moving average. As you can see here, when it does do that, it does kind of spring higher. So something like this, 725, I think it was 775 was kind of your target, which is all the way up here. I don't think that's out of bounds, but it's certainly, I don't think it's going to happen, today. Maybe something kind of after PCE, maybe into early December. But if you're buying at 6, you're just playing the historical trends on here as well, which is anytime it drops below 6, it's obviously been kind of explosive back higher. We had this one failure here, but that was on the November 26th. And if we kind of go back to the Bitcoin chart, November 26th was the day when we kind of, got sent back down on Bitcoin. So not too big of a concern, because it was obviously just kind of being a high beta asset compared to Bitcoin. But if you can get above the 6.28 level, 6.29, then you've got a precipice to get up to 6.8. And if you can get above 6.8, then you can start to move up to these equal highs. And then of course, above these highs is when you can start talking about 775, maybe 7.8, maybe 8, because market does like those round numbers, considering obviously that 6 level has been holding pretty well. So if we do pull back, the weekly VWAP lines up with that $6 amount, so which is the previous daily close, and you've got this liquidity right here. So this does look good in my opinion, but the one thing you have to be aware of is the resistance that it sits at right now. So if it does get rejected, good entry level right here. So hope I was able to help everyone out. I would say out of the favorites of my longs, probably SNX, just because of the whale buying. The FET is just an AI play, and I think if anybody's been watching the market, and especially with all the open AI news, AI plays aren't a bad one to have kind of in the bag and keep around. So Bitcoin still looking good, but I do have a feeling we may see some sort of slight pullback soon. So definitely hold on to your handlebars. But right now the market does look really good. And personal opinion is if equities end up continuing higher, then so will everything else. But again, got to contend with this, previous daily close, got to contend with this liquidity down here if we do pull back. So with that being said, good luck, happy trading. See everybody tomorrow.